Good evening. My name is Janelle McLee, and I'm going to be talking to you today about the African wedding culture. Here on display, you will see pictures of different African wedding culture and styles. Um, Today, I'm going to be exploring three of the most popular African wedding cultures, that being Ghana, Ethiopia, and Kenya. All three of these wedding cultures in Africa have different styles of their wedding culture, but they all have similarities as well. They do share a common goal, and that is that the bride plays a very special role and is treated with respect, and she is the link between the unborn and the ancestors. Um, in these African cultures, in regards to the brides are often young girls and they go to what they call circumcision schools. These schools teach them what is involved in a marriage, and it also teaches them secret codes and languages that they can use to communicate with other married women. In Ethiopia, a bride's beauty is enhanced by tattooing and painting her body with different African symbols. Also in Ethiopia, marriages are negotiated by the two families, that being the bride's family and the groom's family. A priest may be present, and after the marriage, divorce is allowed, but this also must be negotiated. The bride is paid housekeeper's wages and is not eligible for inheritance. Children of the marriage are legally recognized and qualify for inheritance, and the priests may marry but are not eligible for divorce or remarriage. The groom's side sends a representative who requests marriage between both parties. An appointment is given and a verdict is rendered on the marriage. The morning of the wedding, the groom and 3 to 4 best men goes to the bride's house. At the house, the ladies of the house block the entrance to the bride's home. At this point, the best men must strongly force their way into the house. The first best man that gets into the house sprays perfume everywhere at the home, and the bride's family plays songs. In the Ghana African marriage culture, the groom, along with his family, goes to the bride's house and formally asks the bride for her hand in marriage, along with friends, other family members, and well-wishers. Also, wedding bands actually play several instruments that produce a knocking sound, and they play this knocking sound all throughout the house. This is called a knocking ceremony. And the knocking ceremony consists of the future husband together with his father and some elder family members who visits the bride's house to announce their relationship intentions. This ceremony is carried out about a week or two ahead of time of the actual marriage ceremony. And on the wedding day, the groom and his family, along with the other guests, show up at the bride's house very early. The husband's family sits on one side, and the bride's family sits on the other side, where they're facing each other. Guests from both sides of the family begin with the prayer and introductions. The ceremony begins with the groom. The groom side of the family presents property and money that is brought by the bride to her husband for negotiation. The bride is not present at this part of the ceremony. The husband is, but he does not speak. The actual speaking and negotiation is done by a designated spokesperson on the groom's side of the family. In the Kenyan culture, the girls are given to a man that they don't know, and it is important for the person to be much older than the bride. At this ceremony, the father or the brother of the bride spits on the bride's head as a blessing. She leaves the house with her new husband and they walk to their new home. Most of the time in the Kenyan culture, the bride is between the ages of 13 and 16 years old and may have to walk a very long way to get to her husband's house. The weddings may go on for about a week, and there's a week full of festivities that take place with a lot of performing and dancing and lots of food. The wedding ceremony usually occurs in the evening, and after the wedding, there's a grand finale, and the young bride enters as a married woman into the world. After this grand finale, then the bride is able to be shown in public places. All in all, these African weddings are a family affair. They combine two lives, two families, and sometimes two communities. The weddings can be very elaborate. They involve a lot of feasting and dancing for days within the community. They can sometimes be very simple, and they can even be performed in huge marriage ceremonies involving many different cultures. And that concludes the African wedding culture. Thank you.